What happens when you start engaging the community in an area? Criminals don't want to hang around. We've seen the crime in this area significantly dropped, and those people are being forced out of the neighborhood. To address the traffic count, more and more people are being attracted to this area, so it's creating more and more opportunities.
For years, streetlights, dark from neglect, created a perfect cover for vandalism and graffiti. But what others saw as a problem, Derek Weaver saw as a possibility. What appeared to many as an eyesore looked more like an opportunity to Derek.
What we've done is build relationships with the business owners, and one of the first business owners I talked to was a screw and bolt shop on Grand River that has been here since 1943, and said, okay, well, you're having these issues. We know the creative community, we know the guys that are doing it to your building, so why don't we redirect it and channel it in a different way, and maybe we can put some cool screw and bolt characters up on the building and write your business name and do some creative, artistically done graffiti. It's all about providing solutions. Solutions for the property owners, solutions for the community, and that's what we're all about.
So the Grand River Creative Corridor was born, and at the heart of it, the 4731 Arts Incubator, a building to provide space for local artists and entrepreneurs. Suddenly, word of this urban art experiment was drawing interest around the globe.
We've had artists travel here from Germany, North Carolina, Virginia, just to name a few. And they come here just because they want to be part of the renaissance of Detroit and the exploding art scene in Detroit.
Celebrated artist Michael Owen came to Detroit to share his Baltimore Love project with the Motor City.
The future of the Grand River Creative Corridor is to have a neighborhood where you can clearly drive through and it's distinctly an art and entrepreneurial, and you can feel the creative energy. The entrepreneurs and artists are working and living and shopping in this neighborhood and hanging out in this neighborhood. People do tell me I'm crazy, but that's what will happen with this neighborhood. It's all about putting the right pieces together, and that's all I'm here for, is to put the pieces together and point people in the right direction.
One of the people who joined Derek's crusade was an attorney and entrepreneur with a love for Detroit and a passion for empowering women.
And Stephen, she too got her inspiration when she saw so many walls in the city of Detroit covered with graffiti.
I went running one afternoon and it's filled with graffiti on the DeQuinder Cut. Many beautiful pieces, and I noticed a part that had fallen off and it was laying on the ground. And so I took that little chunk home and I started I thought it looked pretty on its surface, but I noticed it was made up of all these really unique layers, and I was wondering if you could access those. So I started playing around, and then I called Diana and I said, you gotta get over here. I think we may have something to work with.
Amy Peterson contacted her friend Diana Russell, a Wayne State art graduate. Together, they developed a process that captured the mosaic of colors and scraps of graffiti, creating one-of-a-kind jewelry.
We just thought it was so beautiful and so unique and so symbolic of the city in which we live in. Like each piece of graffiti, it looks a little rough on the surface, but if you look underneath, it's made up of all these intricate layers, and we think that's symbolic of the city and how it's made up of all these amazing ideas and history and people.
The women knew they wanted to start a jewelry business, but their real mission was to change lives. Amy lived near a local shelter and got to know some of the women who lived there.
They left a really horrible situation, many times abusive situations, whether financial, physical, emotional. And they were the courageous ones because they realized that whatever situation they were in, they had to get out of, and they sought some relief in the shelter. So the whole idea started from these conversations and how can we help them get back on their feet.
Amy and Diana hired 3 employees, rented space in the incubator, and Rebel+Nell was born.
The real beauty of our jewelry is we allow the women that we hire creative freedom over designing the pieces of jewelry. So this really helps restore their confidence because they're the designers.
Just seeing something that you created and seeing that someone actually loves something that you had an idea about is just great. It leaves you open to the possibilities that you can do anything.
The beauty of it too is you would look at a piece of slab of graffiti once it's prepared for processing, for the making of the jewelry. You would look at that piece of graffiti and I would look at that same piece, and you and I would both cut out completely different shapes. And so it's really fun, and starting to see their personalities develop from the pieces that they cut. Now we can almost identify who cut what piece out because it's just so reflective of them.
That one's beautiful. I love what a wide range of colors it has.
One thing that we say all the time is you never fall in love with the top layer. So when you find the graffiti, because of our process, we go right through that top layer. And so I think that is also a good lesson to live in life. You know, don't always judge someone by what you see initially. It's so much deeper than that.
Rebel+Nell creates earrings, rings, and cufflinks, but pendants are the most popular. Each one is marked with a small tag that identifies where in the city the graffiti was found.
A lot of people from the outside think, oh, Detroit, and just see everything that's wrong with the city. But once you actually dive in and get to know the people that make up the city, it's really beautiful what's happening here, just like our graffiti.
Rebel+Nell provides its employees with more than a fair wage. They offer financial training, small business management, and everyday life skills.
All three are finally out of the shelter. All three have moved into subsidized housing. And so we just hope that it continues to grow from there and that someday they are able to start their own business from everything they've learned at Rebel+Nell.
Amy Peterson has lived in cities all over the country, but she'll tell you when it comes to opportunity, there's no place like the city she now calls home.
Detroit there's no other place like it. It's the most wonderful community I've been a part of, and they're so embracing, and people really mean what they say, and people provide you with the love and support that you need if you're willing to start some type of enterprise here in the city. And it's just really been a blessing to be a part of it.